Hello friends and welcome back to Animal Crossing! I am Peachie Llama here on YouTube, and today we are going to be speed building a rustic townhome neighborhood area. I've wanted to create the town below the mountains, and I thought it would be neat to include some villager houses within the town and not just in the forest mountain areas. Before we get started, I just want to say a huge thank you for 150 subscribers. I am so floored. I cannot believe our little community has grown to this size already. Thank you all so much for following along, and I am so excited to get creative with you all. I hope you're able to find some inspiration with a little bit of fun in these videos. If you have any ideas of what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future, please let me know. Alright, now let's get started. So I took out a ton of stuff for this area in the neighborhood. I had Cat's house here, as well as the park area where I had the ice rink. Like, so much was taken out, and I'm amazed how much space ended up being available. But I really wanted to get us started here and have this like kind of market area with the houses around. But I was trying to figure out the spacing. I think that was my biggest problem, was just trying to have like a 2 square path everywhere. But I was worried about these villager yards. Like, I don't know, look how small they are. I was nervous, but I then just kept going with it because I'm like, you know what, it is going to be smaller than what I'm used to lately with the builds, just because it is going to be a townhome kind of style area. So I just expanded and moved the pathways down a little more, and that just helped me kind of get a better shape for what everything was going to look like. And now I'm kind of debating of like how far should I extend this, but what I'm filling in there is going to eventually be a marketplace, which I'll be doing in a different video. But today we are definitely going to be focusing mainly on the house yard plot areas. I recently got this custom design that I really like to kind of try to break up the rocks a little bit. I've seen something similar on other islands. I was inspired a lot by Cherryton. You should definitely check out that video for some inspo yourself. But I found this brick path that was kind of similar, and I just thought it looked really good with what I already had set up. So I started putting in some fencing, and I couldn't decide exactly where it was going to go, but I knew I wanted trees in between the houses to kind of set as a barrier. But what I figured out was that it actually helped make the yards a little bit bigger, which I really had not realized was going to be an option before. Once I put in the stone iron fences to kind of give it that more city vibe look with it, and ended up getting like, I don't know, 4 more blocks added to each yard. So I don't know, I was really happy with it, and I think it just made it look way better than I was expecting, and I felt like it definitely felt way more spacious than I originally imagined it was going to be. But this looks so good, and I love the combination of trees, and I like how I focused on trying to include places for the street lamps. So yeah, I saw this and I was just so excited. I thought this looked so good. And so I'm testing out with the stone and the hedges, and I think I just stuck with the hedges just because I wanted to keep the greenery and keep it more of that rustic vibe, because I still wanted it to feel like it was part of a mountain town, if that makes sense. So nature and more of the stone and iron, I love it. And I included cherries and cedars in the middle, and then I have just a regular tree on each side. I wanted to include all the different kinds of trees. And yeah, and I'm just so hyped. So I'm doing my little dance here because I'm just so happy about how this looks. So I started with this stone path at first for the stone custom design path for the houses. I ended up changing it, and then I added the new brick path in the middle as just an extra little layer of detail in this build. And I end up actually making little almost decks out of, or patios I guess is a better term for the stone. I make little patios out of it in each side, and I really liked how they turned out. And again, thinking about those places for these street lamps, I never really consider that until after I've made something, but I really tried to make sure I got to include it this time, just so it's symmetrical and it looks cute. This seating area I've had on my island for quite some time. I think ever since I really started decorating at the very beginning of the game, this was there, and I hated the wall. I hated the way it looked. I've always thought it was just not perfect. So I'm really glad I took some time to edit it a little bit today. I don't know, I love the stone wall, like I love the way it looks, but for whatever reason I can never make it fit in my build, so I'm hoping I can find some ways in the mountain area to fix that. Now I added the brick custom design I used on the apple orchard, and I brought it in here to just add some more color so it's not so much gray and stone look. And I think it just looks so good. It just continues the vibe of adding that pieces of red and orange, just warm colors throughout the entire island. Obviously with Poppy's yard, we had to include some of the original fall items I had in her original yard. So I included a little pumpkin patch and the yellow leaf pile as like a walkway. And I kind of wanted to just figure out some new looks for it because I wasn't totally happy with the way half the seat was on the stone, and so I kind of do some changes here in a minute because I wasn't fully happy. I also didn't really like where the pumpkin, like the stack of pumpkins was. I don't know. It's cute, but it just, I don't know, it still didn't vibe with me, and I wanted to include flowers everywhere, so I wanted to kind of give that variety of flowers too. I don't know, I just had a lot of ideas and I was just kind of figuring things out, and since I realized I could walk between yards, I wanted to fix that for sure so that the yards were separated, give each other some privacy. And so here's where I start kind of designing the patio that I talked about. I just thought it was a really cute addition to add some detail to the yard so it's not just different flowers and fall items, and it just adds that perfect detail to where the chairs and the table look realistic, and I was just really happy with it. And then I added the swinging bench because I wanted to give her a little reading nook, which I will add a stack of books eventually, but I really wanted her to have an outdoor reading area because she's a normal and she loves to read. And yeah, so here's where I decided to go ahead and put in the alternating stone paths in the game and then cover it up with that favorite stone texture of mine that I used in the museum build, because I felt like the other stone pieces were better and more of a nature look, and since this is in the city, I wanted to fix that. Here's where I get to Fangs Yard. I really wanted to try to do black furniture. I don't know why I felt like that fit, because I was trying to get a city vibe with Fang as well, but Fang is really about the neutral colors and white. I thought maybe I need to keep with the white theme and like match his house the same, and I just didn't feel like the black matched it, even though it would match the stone and iron fences around his yard. And so I did some custom designs around to add the brown iron furniture because I thought that fit so much better with the white, and it's just super cute, and I'm really happy I went with that direction. I wanted to include a little chess set because he's just a smart boy. Of course, have a rocking chair, and I like the way the rocking chair is on the little patio kind of thing for him because I just think that's really cute. And the water pump I loved, even though it kind of blocks you from entering the flower area. I just think it looks really good, and I loved the way it turned out. And Fang comes out to say hello, and I geeked out because I was like, my boy's out to enjoy his new yard. Have I said I adored Fang enough? Like, I really do. He's just so freaking cute. And then, of course, cute Fang uses the water. I had fun with that. He was amused as well. And then I add the book stands. Everything's like keeping the black theme a little bit, but I wanted to keep that kind of neutral tones with the browns and the whites. And yeah, added some extra stuff on the little pieces that go out to the beach. I flipped this bench around a few times, and I ended up liking it facing towards the houses, at least the shape of it from this direction. I don't know. There's my book stack, because my book stack is so important. And I wanted to kind of clutter up this seating area, so I added a barrel and a deer scare, and I put my first bonsai tree in because I just got that recipe not too long ago. And I had to adjust the fencing because it was bothering me. Again, took out the stone fencing. I don't know why. I'm not happy with it yet, but I'm just not. So I put a bush in between instead, and I just wanted it to be symmetrical. So we fixed it. All right, now that we are finished, I just wanted to give you guys a little run through of what we've done today with this rustic speed build area. So to get started, I updated this little seating area that I had off the side of the entrance because it was right next to the houses, and I just wanted to give some more clutter to it, add a little more rustic feel with the barrel and the table with the bonsai tree. And I don't know, I just love the way it looks. I like the brick instead of the stone that was there. It just gives it a little more variety and then just constantly being the same color path. So I really like how this turned out. I think it's real cute. And as we walk over here, we start to get to the townhome areas. Poppy's house is first. I was really excited with how these turned out. I was definitely worried when I first did them that maybe they would be too small of yards and I really wouldn't be able to do much with them, but it turned out really well. I'm very impressed with how we're able to utilize the size and include the fences everywhere around it too. So I wanted to kind of downsize what she had previously, but keep some of the elements of these fall leaves and fall colors, and I added some cypress plants because I just liked how they looked in the front, and I think it adds a little bit of the woodsy vibe in the rustic town. If you'll excuse me for 1 second, I'm going to get this balloon. So again, I wanted to keep some of the fall colors, so I have tulips because I really like the way the tulips saturation levels are, and I think it's nice because all the colors of the fall sets are kind of represented in this build. And then I wanted to have a little seating area on the cute swing for her to read her books because obviously she's a normal, so she loves to read, and I thought it'd be just cute to have a little nook for her. I don't know, I love the way it looks. I think it's so freaking cute. I say that about everything. I'm sorry, but I don't have any other words. So this middle part, I just wanted to acknowledge it real quick. I know we have to talk about Fang's house next, but I wanted to have trees that were the divider between the two houses to keep it that definitely have that rustic look, but I included the stone and iron fences to kind of really provide that still city town vibe. You're definitely not in the mountains yet, still feel woodsy, and that's what I wanted to go with. And I wanted to include cherry trees instead to kind of implement our native tree, because I try not to put many fruit trees places, so I'm trying to include them more subtly. And now we get to Fang's house. So I debated on whether I wanted to do kind of like a black and white theme in his yard, but it didn't fit him and it didn't fit his house, so I kept with the dark brown, and I think it works really well because it does stick to his theme on the inside as well, because he has mainly white and browns inside and out. So I just think it worked out really well, and I'm so glad I decided to change it. And of course I have that rocking chair I mentioned I wanted him to have because he's a cranky old man, and I have some books for him to read while he's outside, telephone for a little detail. I don't know, I thought it was cute. And I had the water pump in his last yard. I'd had it in previous yards for other villagers who had lived in his plot, so I just kind of kept it with it. He's actually played with it already, which is cute, and I think it looks nice where it is right by the flowers. And I wanted to include a chess set just because, you know, he's a wise old man. Again, I just thought this would be really cute because he's just super smart, and I would love to have him be able to utilize this chess set. And I have a little hourglass to go with it because I thought that was really neat, and that was a cute touch. Overall, I really love what it ended up being, and I'm just really excited about it. I added some little details on the ends too, because I added a pumpkin on Poppy's side to represent her fall vibes, and I just liked this darker pot of plants and greenery for Fang. I just think it's very elegant and goes along with his elegant ways as well. And yeah, I just think this is perfect, and I just love walking past it and walking through. I think once we get the areas surrounding it finished, I think this is going to be even better. I'm also going to be adjusting the beach area, so a lot of what you see on the beach is not going to be there, but yeah, again, just to start into the town area, and I just am very, very happy with how this looks. And I'm really excited for you guys to see the rest of my plans. I have not obviously got to them yet, but I'm planning on doing a marketplace behind their houses, and then there's going to be stairs to a mountain area that's going to be this kind of mansion-y garden, I'd say, almost. I don't know. I wanted a spooky garden area for Mr. Lucky. I really wanted to utilize the spooky day stuff and just kind of make a cool haunted area for him on a mountain. So that's my current plan. I do have a couple island tours coming up, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing so you can be alerted the next time I post. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye!